Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start? Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man for the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him, and without Gerard McKiernan and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed six. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergal Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card. He got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But like, how is Terry Hyland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quithill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, but sure, look, I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.
Yeah. And welcome to Gaelic Football Views on CavanTV.com, Ireland's first web TV sports channel, which has been viewed in 220 countries worldwide and by almost 2 million people. This show is brought to you by Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quithill. I'm Mickey Brennan.
And I'm Damien Donohoe. I am definitely. Remember, if you want to get in contact with the show, we'd be delighted to hear from you. You can email us at Gaelic Football Views. There we go, like the new banner.
Yeah, there it is.
Gaelic Football Views at gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter by searching at Gaelic FV, or you can find us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views.
They can indeed. On tonight's show, we'll be looking back at all the action from the weekend with minor, reserve and senior championship matches played.
We'll also be joined later in the show by Cavan manager Terry Hyland to chat about the championship draw, the additions to his management setup, and what he thought of this year's club championship football.
Absolutely, and just to mention that we do hope to have Terry in. Terry and his new team management were meeting at 6 o'clock today to discuss the year ahead, I suppose, and Terry said he'd try to make it in between 8 and 9 o'clock. So if Terry comes in, we will go straight to an ad break, we'll get him seated and we'll go through all the questions.
Get the makeup done. And
we'll have to get Terry's
the makeup
done.
done.
That's it as well. You know, Terry for the makeup.
That's it.
He's very vain that way.
He would.
We're going to start with some results from the minor and under 14 championships. So in the under 14 football championship Division 1 semi-final played last Monday, Ramor were taking on Butler's Bridge, and this ended up in a draw. It was 4-9 to 4-9 to both teams, obviously. Four goals and 9 points each, Ramor and Butler's Bridge. And the semi-final replay will...
no, it was then on Saturday.
Oh, the replay was on Saturday.
They played it on Saturday because the final is on tomorrow evening, so they had to play it on Saturday. And in the semi-final replay, Ramor came out on top. 2 goals and 11 points to Butler's Bridge, 3 goals and 6. But I have to say congratulations to Butler's Bridge because they're showing steady improvement,
huge improvement
all the time.
Yeah.
And that under 14 team come up, I think, from Division, it's their first time in Division 1. And for them to push on and compete against Ramor, who are top of that table, top of the pile there, along with Crushlaw, it shows great improvement from a small club. So well done to Butler's Bridge, but congratulations to Ramor to make it into that final. The other semi-final it took place last Monday night, so this week saw Crushlaw taking on Knockbride. Again, Knockbride won, I think, the Division 2 at under 14 league this year, so they come up for the championship, and they were unfortunately, Knockbride were beaten there on a scoreline of 3 goals and 16 points to Knockbride's 3 goals and 9. So very high scoring game.
Very high scoring game, and credit where it's due. Knockbride to come up from Division 2 to play in the Division 1 championship. They accounted very well for themselves in that championship and got to a semi-final to lose by 7 points to Crushlaw, which is is not a terrible thing. So it's not.
No, absolutely. Because
so well done to all involved there.
Indeed. The Under-14 Championship Division 1 final then will take place tomorrow evening in Kingspan Breffni Park at 8:15. So that's under lights on the main field. The referee there is Tony Gregory. So great to see that the Under-14 finals, I suppose the weather has facilitated that they can get their county finals underage in Breffni Park, and it's great to see it because I think it makes more of an occasion for the kids.
Oh, it does indeed, and it's where every kid wants to play,
exactly.
and it's only right that the county finals at that age group should be played in Kingspan Breffni Park.
Completely agree with you.
So in the Under-14 Football Championship Division 2 final will be played tomorrow night, Tuesday night, and that will see Larry United taking on Annaleigh Gaels. The time for that one is 6:45 and the venue, Kingspan Breffni Park, and the referee for that one will be Raymond Kelly. So 6:45, Larry United v Annaleigh Gaels in the Division 2 final.
Yeah. Then we move on to the Division 3 football at Under-14, and this was a semi-final played last week, and that was Ballina taking on Drumgoon, and Ballina came out with the victory here, 3 goals and 4 points to Drumgoon's 1 goal and 9, so a 1-point win there for Ballina. Well done to Ballina.
And the old cliche comes back to haunt us.
Goals win games.
Goals win games, and Ballina scored 7 times, Drumgoon scored 10 times, but the goals win it.
That's it.
So on Monday night, tonight that would be, the final will be played between Ballyborough and Ballina at 8:15. It's just 8:10 now, and the venue for that one is Kingspan Breffni Park as well, and the referee for it is Packy Smith.
Yeah, so that's just going on as we go on air. The Under-14 Division 4 semi-finals took place last week. That saw Shercock taking on Shannon Gaels. This was a monster scoring game. Shercock got 9 goals and 13 points.
Scared by that scoreline.
Shannon Gaels got 8 goals and 12 points. Phenomenal game of football, it sounds like. So Shercock win that by 4 points.
I think it was 14 aside and they both played without a goalkeeper.
Right.
That's phenomenal scoring, like 3 9s 27. That's 40 points to 36 points.
Yeah, unbelievable, unbelievable. So well done to Shercock and well done to Shannon Gaels for producing obviously a high level of football.
Well, like in fairness, 36 points is going to win most games.
It is.
Except this one.
I don't think I've ever scored 36 points and not one. Don't think I've ever scored 36 points actually. Yeah. The other semi-final saw Cootehill taking on Killincare. This was a lower scoring game, but Cootehill came out on top. 2 goals and 8 points to Killincare's 5 points. So as we said, then the Under-14 Division 4 final took place earlier this evening. We didn't get a result, but I'll get on to Twitter and see. But that was between Cootehill and Shercock. It was in Kingspan Breffni Park at 6:45. Referee there was Brendan Sweeney.
And hopefully both teams played with a goalkeeper in that final there tonight. In the Under-13 Football Championship, the Under-13 Football Championship will start on Saturday the 25th of October, and this will be a knockout championship. So make sure to follow all your teams that are playing in the Under-13 Championship. And in the Farnham Arms Hotel Minor B Championship quarter-final, Den were taking on Cucullins, and it was 4 goals and 13 points to Den to Cucullins 2 goals and 11 points. So great win there for Den in that one in the Minor B.
My apologies, that's last week's. I think that's my fault.
It's all right.
Anyway, we'll move on because the Farnham Arms Hotel Minor A Championship semi-final was on Sunday afternoon in Kingspan Breffni Park before the senior final. That's how
right,
St. Joe's taking on Southern Gaels, and Southern Gaels come out with the victory here, 1 goal and 12 points to St. Joseph's 7 points. So well done to Southern Gaels, who of course are Gowna and Lacken.
Yeah.
And St. Joseph's were an amalgamation of Killishandra, Arva and Drumlane. So 2 star-studded sides in fairness. But I think Southern Gaels were in control pretty much the whole way through.
We got in maybe just before half time or just after half time, and Southern Gaels just looked like they were much stronger in the end and finished very strong in that game. So well done to all involved with Southern Gaels.
Yeah, indeed. Now the Minor B semi-finals were on at the weekend. The Farnham Arms Hotel Minor B Championship semi-finals. The first of them saw Den taking on Killigarry, and Killigarry came out with the victory here on 2 goals and 11 points to Den's 1 goal and 10. That was in Lavey.
And in the Farnham Arms Hotel Minor B Championship other semi-final, Nave Breed were taking on O'Reilly Gaels, and Nave Breed lost this one, unfortunately. Our own club involved with Nave Breed. It was 1 goal and 11 points to O'Reilly Gales, 4 goals and 11 points. I think that went to extra time as well, didn't it?
No.
It didn't in the end.
No, don't think so, no.
Okay.
No, it didn't. So, but well done to O'Reilly Gales, who of course are Shercock and Kingscourt.
Yes.
So they progressed to the Minor B final, which is taking place this coming Saturday in Kingspan Breffni Park. It's a double header, I've been told earlier on, with the A final, which is Southern Gales against Ramor. So time to be confirmed, but it will be this Saturday in Kingspan Breffni Park.
It's a strange one, O'Reilly Gales, that Kingscourt can't field a minor team on their own.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
Just is like the population and the size of Kingscourt is just an odd one. I just thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah,
there, so
why not?
And in the reserve Division 1A Championship semi-final was played last Friday night. Saw Ballinya taking on Castlerahan, and Castlerahan won this one on a scoring of 4 goals and 11 points to Ballinya's 2 goal and 11. And that venue for that was the 3G pitch, and it was at 8 p.m. The referee was Brian Crowe, so a great win there for Castlerahan.
Castlerahan indeed. The reserve Division 1B Championship semi-final took place on Saturday. That saw Crushlaw taking on Ballyhaise again in the 3G pitch in Kingspan Breffni Park, and Ballyhaise came away with a 1-point win here. 13 points to a goal and 9. So well done to Ballyhaise. They bounced back after their intermediate disappointment, and they go on to face Cuhullins in that reserve final, with date, time and venue to be confirmed.
And in the reserve Division 2 Championship final, played last Saturday, Killincare were taking on Lara, and Lara won this in a scoreline of 1 goal and 13 points to Killingare's 7 points, and that was played at 7 p.m. on Saturday in the 3G pitch, and the referee for that was our own Drumalee man, Mickey Lee.
He was indeed, and I was at that game. I was actually doing umpire. Lara, huge first half, tore out of the blocks real quick, and just had a massive lead at half time. Killincare made a real good fight of it in the second half, came back into it, missed the penalty, missed a number of scoreable chances. They really should have been able to pull themselves level. Had they scored the penalty, I think it would have only left 2 or 3 points in it. So they missed too much to be able to get themselves back in. Yep. But Lara were full value in fairness to them.
And then the Hotel Kilmore Cavan Intermediate Championship 2014 relegation playoff saw Kill taking on Swanland Bar, and Swanland Bar won this in a scoreline of 15 points to 1 goal and 5. And the scoreline in that at half time was actually Kill 1-5, Swanland Bar 5 points. Wow. Swanland Bar hit 10 unanswered points in the second half. And that was played in Drumalee on Sunday morning. Yeah. I was talking to a couple of Swanland Bar lads, and they were saying that their second half performance was outstanding, and Kill just couldn't score in the second half, and Swanland Bar went on to score 10 points, so good win.
And it was a lovely morning, there wouldn't have been a wind factor.
No, they just apparently they just stopped them from playing in the second half, stopped Kill from playing.
Well done to Swanland Bar, because I genuinely thought on their championship showing so far that Kill were going to.
You did, and I think actually, just as you mentioned that, we did have this in our predictions a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't in last week, but we did have it in our predictions a couple of weeks ago, and I went with Swad and you went with Kill. So just throw that in there. Just saying, like.
Oh yeah, just saying. Yeah, nice. The Riverfront Hotel All County Football League Division 3. There was one game this weekend, and that's our Corla taking on Butler's Bridge. Massive win here for Butler's Bridge. They scored 7 goals and 17 points down in Corla to Corla's 1 goal and 4. That was last Sunday morning with referee Brian Seagroff. That's a big win for Butler's Bridge, as we'll see coming up on the table here now, that Butler's Bridge needed to pick up that win to keep their chance of automatic promotion alive. So you can see now Butler's Bridge there have 8 games played. They have 14 points on the board. Shercock have 8 games played. They have 16 points on the board. Now Butler's Bridge have to play Shercock in that league yet. And the winner, if Butler's Bridge win that, they'll go top because it's a head-to-head, which gives them automatic promotion. Shercock, if they avoid defeat, if they get a draw or a win, they'll get automatic promotion.
Do the top 2 teams not get promoted automatically?
No, it's top team promoted and then second place third for the next promotion.
Right.
So that's a big win for Butler's Bridge, and they now have to play Shercock. They'll have obviously the addition of Lurkin Mulvey for that game. You know, so you just won't know that won't be an easy game to call. Butlersbridge are going well enough at the minute under that man in the middle on the Saturday night, Mickey Lee. So he's doing a great job there. So well done to Butlersbridge. And
in the Kiernan's service station, Cavan ACFL Division 1A. Round 3 was played last Sunday. There was 2 games. It was Castlerahan taking on Ramor, and Castlerahan won their fixture on a scoring of 3 goals and 9 points to Ramor's 1 goal and 10.
Yeah, and Drumgoon took on Mullahoran over in Drumgoon, and Mullahoran came away with the victory here. 1 goal and 11 points to Drumgoon's 8 points. And as you can see from the table,
big win for Mullahoran.
They needed that win, as we'll just see coming up here now. You can Mullahoran now have 8 played. They have 7 points on the board. So Lacken can still catch them, but they need Lavi. Lavi are the team that they'll really be worrying about there, or that Lavi have to win their last game to get ahead of Mullahoran. So at least Mullahoran, a point would actually probably see Mullahoran safe there.
Yeah, it would indeed.
But that was a massive win for Mullahoran, and they wouldn't have been liking the thought of going down. But Gowna are essentially relegated.
Yeah, no, Gowna have 1 game left, and well, I suppose
so they can go in. No, they're actually not relegated yet, because they could win their last game, and if Drumgoon lose their last game, that would put Gowna on 4, Drumgoon on 3. So Drumgoon would be automatic relegation, and then Gowna would play the third from bottom.
Correct.
Who would be
either by the looks of things, it'd more than likely be Lavi or Lacken.
Yeah, although Lacken with the extra game in hand, that might prove important at the end. So we're going to move on. We're flying through this.
We are indeed,
flying through this. The Breffni All-Stars team of the week.
Do?
What?
We might start again. So we might, just for all the people who are only tuning in now.
That could be a good idea. Or we'll do the rewind dance.
Yeah, we could have it as Gaelic Football Views +1.
+1. The Breffni All-Stars team of the week for week number 9 is as follows. Do you want to start?
All right, sure, I'll start. In goals for week number 9 is Ryan Carroll of Coothill, and it's for his performance against Ballyhaise in the intermediate championship final. Indeed it is. The full-back line number 2 is Killian McBride from Ballinya, and that was for his performance in the semi-final against Kingscourt. That's an odd one, but we'll come back to that in a minute. We didn't pick these. We didn't. These are independently picked. Exactly. Yeah. The fullback on the team of the week for week 9 was James Morris of Arva for his game against Ballymacue in the junior final. Indeed, the other cornerback was Joshua Hayes from Coothill, of course, and that was for his performance in the intermediate final against Ballyhaise. And I have to say, that's very well deserved. And so is James Morris, actually. Damn right, yeah, but the intermediate one, he played as a wing back. He marked Kevin Tierney. Yeah. And he did a great job on Kevin Tierney, in fairness. Absolutely. If you stopped, it seemed to be on the day of the intermediate final, if you stopped Kevin Tierney for Ballyhaise, you stopped Ballyhaise. Well, it worked on that day anyway. Yeah, so it did. So the half-back line then, the number 5 was taken by Porrick Faulkner from Kingscourt, and that was for his performance against Ballinya in the semi-final. And then at centre-back is Kieran Brady of Arva for his performance against Ballymacue in the junior final. The other wing half-back is another Arva man, and it's Tomas Brady, and that was his performance again in the junior final against Ballymacue. And wearing number 8 in the middle of the park is Fergal McGlade, again from Arva for his performance against Ballymacue in the junior final. Yeah, which was vital, because he was sent out to mark Liam Buchanan, Goldrick, and done a very good job, I have to say. I thought he worked tirelessly throughout the game. Yep. The other midfielder then was John McCutcheon from Coothill, and that was for performance in the intermediate final against Ballyhaise. Wearing number 10 at right half forward is Barry Riley of Kingscourt for his performance against Ballinya, player who was quiet all season and just started to peak at the right time. So he did come quarter-final, semi-final and final of the championship. Then centre half forward was Enda Hessen from Coothill. That was this is one I don't agree with. You couldn't agree with this one. Absolutely phenomenal season he's had. A brilliant year. You know, not an All-Ireland junior title, obviously a Leinster junior title, a under-21 Ulster title, and intermediate championship. So 2014. And a player of the match. In the intermediate final as well. Right. Yeah, it's a year that I'd say Enda Hessen won't forget. So. That's for sure, yeah. And wearing number 12 at left half forward is Kevin Boucher of Arva for his performance against Ballymacue in the junior final.
Yeah, the corner forward then is Tom Hayes from Coothill, and that again was the intermediate final performance.
And wearing number 14 at full forward is Jonathan McCabe of Arva for his performance against Ballymacue. Again, another man who has been phenomenal all year. Jonathan McCabe, he's been an inspiration there in the Arva team. And Arva packed full of big stars, you know, and not to take away from Jonathan, but he wouldn't be as well known as your Bouchers or your Ellises or your Morrises. And yet he's been probably their best player all year.
Well, he has, because I'm just going to flick through here. You think I should know from memory, but Jonathan McCabe scored highly impressive 5 goals and 16 points in the championship.
Brilliant.
So that's an absolute massive showing by Jonathan, and he deserves his place on that team of the week, because in the final he had an absolutely brilliant game too, I thought. And then the last position on the team goes to corner forward Anthony Corcoran, and that was for his performance in the semi-final for Kingscourt against Ballina.
Now,
The
he
funny
was
thing
he
is-
was being marked by number 2 on this team, which is Killian McBride.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
I'm not taking away from either player, but you know, Anthony Corcoran, I thought, had a great game for Kingscourt against Ballina, and I just don't see how two players that were, especially
Marking each other.
maybe midfielders,
Maybe,
they could,
maybe.
because two midfielders could, you know, if they let each other go, they could attack and play really well. But a cornerback and a corner forward marking each other.
Well, a cornerback's job is to stop a corner forward from scoring.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen. Anyway, it's one. I suppose the point maybe being that there was only 6 teams that they could pick from. So maybe it came down to just that. Well, look at me and you sit at a game sometimes and we see a different game. So.
Well, look, if you, your brother Kevin, and your father Peter Donohoe go to watch a football match, the threes will come back with 3 different opinions on the match. So that's exactly what happened there.
That probably is exactly what happened. So the player of the week for the week the weekend before, the 4th and 5th of October, is of course that man from Coothill, Enda Hessen. So you can see there's a picture of Enda Hessen being presented with his trophy. That's over in Coothill. So congratulations to him. What a week, what a year. And what a player.
Yeah, so far, you know, they've still got an Ulster Championship to go into. They'll be kicking off their Ulster campaign this Sunday, I think, isn't it?
This Sunday, Kingspan
In
Park
Breffni
at
Park.
3:30. So hopefully people get out and get support in Coothill, because it'd be great to see Cavan team doing well in Ulster. It'd be great to see 3 of them doing well in Ulster.
And the manager of the week from October the 4th until October the 5th is Kieran O'Malley from the Coothill Club, and again, you know, well done to Kieran O'Malley on what he's done with Coothill this year. He's really given them a new lease of life and given them, you know, a serious bit of confidence.
Yeah, he has. He probably, they were always good enough to win this intermediate, but he got them over the line and really pushed them right through that line with the final performance. And I thought he got his matchups right.
He got his matchups brilliantly,
right.
yeah.
And, you know, in fairness to him and his whole management team, I think that they lost their first 2 league games and then haven't lost a game since.
Right.
I was trying to look that up earlier on, but the way the league fell, you couldn't actually, you had to go through every single result. But I'm nearly sure they lost their first 2 league games. The last game they lost was a league match against Ballyhaise.
Right.
And then they've won every game since, bar, I think
that was back in March.
Yeah.
I think because we discussed that the week before the championship, so we did.
So phenomenal performance there by Kieran O'Malley and his whole management team. Interestingly enough, there was no ref of the week.
There was no ref of the week.
No ref of the week. So if you want to vote for your Shorten Insurance Breffni All-Star team, you can do so by texting the word player followed by his allocated number to 53030, and all the numbers can be found on www.muncherconnect.com/allstars.asp, or by searching Breffni All-Stars on their Facebook page. So text costs 30 cents per text. So again, you text the word player followed by the player's allocated number, which you can find on the website muncherconnect.com/allstars, and you text it to 53030, and text costs 30 cents.
Yes. So next up, the Hotel Kilmore Cavan Senior Championship final for 2014 was played yesterday, Sunday, at 4 p.m. in Kingspan Breffni Park. Final between Cavan Gaels and Kings Court. Referee for this, Oliver O'Reilly. And what can we say about this game, Damien? It was incredible. I just think, looking back on it, I can't remember a better game of football for a long, long time. I can't remember as good a game of football. It had everything in it.
Yeah. You look at it, 31 scores. You know, it had black cards, yellow cards, red cards, which are the negative side of a game, but showed the passion, intensity, determination,
the speed of the game. The speed of the game. It was county level. It really was up there. The hits that went in, you know, there was big hits. There was great tackling. There was great defending. There was great attacking as well. There was
two organised teams, two very well coached teams. I have to say, both teams to me were exceptionally well coached, and I thought that they had systems of play set up perfectly to counteract each other. And it was just a battle of, you know, where's it going to come down to? And it came down to fine margins in the end.
Yeah, it did.
You know, probably the one, well, there's a few talking points. First talking point we'll have to cover is the sending off of Pádraig
Faulkner, the centre half back for Kings Court in the 12th minute. Yeah. It was a crossfield ball, I think, by Micky Ling, and it was a beautiful pass into space. Levi Murphy and Pádraig Faulkner were running for the ball. Now, in real time, when we saw it, it looked like Levi Murphy got up first anyway and flicked it over Pádraig Faulkner's head, and Cavan Gaels went on the attack. But in real time, it looked like the two of them left the ground at the same time, and there was a collision in midair, and we just thought that there was a collision. And on the radio, we even said, probably a harsh sending off. We didn't think it was a sending off.
No, definitely did not. In real time, it didn't look like a sending off, from my opinion anyway, from where we were in our vantage point. But I've been lucky enough to have the advantage of watching a replay since, and a slow motion replay. And I have to give credit where it's due. It was Oliver Ogue wasn't in a position to call it. I looked at the referee's positioning, and there's no way he could have seen it in the right position to make a decision on it. The ball was there, and he was probably at the same angle as ourselves. So he allowed play to develop and didn't see anything wrong with it. But Joe McQuillan was the linesman on the terrace side, and from the video,
15 or 20 yards away from it at the most, maybe.
Yeah, he was very close to it and was slightly behind where the incident happened, but had a clear line of vision. There was nothing blocking his line of vision, and he got the call perfectly right. And it was at
and
the
unfortunately for Pádraig Faulkner, because he's a wonderful footballer, it was a rash tackle by him. You know, he didn't need to make the tackle. That was the thing, is that he could have avoided the collision with Levi.
Or definitely could have changed how the collision happened, because when you slow it down, Levi has made contact with the ball before Faulkner leaves the ground.
Yeah.
And at that point, Faulkner's standing square on looking, and he changes his body position, probably to protect himself, but by protecting himself and putting his shoulder forward, he was going to do damage to Levi. And it was the right decision with the red card. And you know, I don't like
in our opinion.
Well, in my opinion, from looking at the replay, a slow motion replay of it. Now look at Pádraig Faulkner. I don't think he went to do Levi Murphy, but I do think that he, in protecting himself, he was reckless.
He knew what he was doing. Yeah,
he knew what he was doing, and it was that was the difference. It wasn't that he thought, well, I'm going to knock him out of the game here. Yeah. I'm going to get. And
in fairness, it was a big hit, because Levi Murphy tried to play on and was taken off within 5 minutes of that happening. You know,
he was concussed, and he had a nosebleed and whatnot. But that was the major talking point after the game, that most people were saying, you know, it wasn't a sending off, and that was my own opinion at the time. But with the benefit of replay, I have to say Joe McQuillan called over Oliver Ogue. And by the sounds of it, it was Joe that instructed him, and he got the call right. So I'm sure people in Kings Court mightn't like to hear that, but with the benefit of a replay, it's I think it was the right decision. All right, but
we'll say we'll get past that point. He's been sent off. Kings Court are down to 14 men, and they played like they had 16 men.
They were just brilliant.
And I have to give credit to Cavan Gales as well. They were awesome as well. Both teams gave it absolutely everything. They couldn't have given it any more.
No. And even with when the 2 minutes went up to say at the end of ordinary time that there'd be 2 additional minutes, and when Micky Ling won the ball and he was in the corner, the build up to that possession, Cavan Gales won it in their own full back line.
It was kicked away by Kingscourt. Kingscourt gave the possession away, and
that's
Cavan
right.
Gales
Cavan Gales won it, and they were slow in their build up to get it up into the forward line, and Micky Ling got it in the corner, right on the corner flag.
Yeah.
And basically you were looking at it, and I looked at the clock, and it was 32 minutes and 5 seconds when he got the ball, and I thought to myself, blow it, just blow it. We want to see another day with these two teams going at it again. But you know, and we have to give credit to the Cavan Gales players. They've done very well, but it was Chesty who came looking for that ball, and like
centre half back and captain and leader and 9 championship medals in his back pocket now.
14 championship finals. And just makes them tick. He came looking when there was no option for Micky Ling. He was the man who came and helped them out and received the ball. Ling had the presence of mind to go get the return back.
But it was the way nobody, when they left, 2 guys were marking Micky Ling and left him to go to Chesty because they were looking, going, well, if Ling gets it again, he's on the end line.
He's on the end line. There's no danger.
And Micky just ran along the end line and received the ball, took a second solo, and then just jinked outside onto his right, and then just clipped the ball over with a fist pass.
Yeah.
And like it was a wonderfully taken score to win the championship final, but you felt so bad for Kingscourt. They didn't deserve to lose it, and Cavan Gales didn't deserve to lose it either.
No.
It was a draw written all over it.
It had, but immediately after the game, I was thinking that like it should have been a draw. In hindsight, on the balance, in my opinion, Cavan Gales had far more possession. They had far more chances in the second half, which shows maybe the quality of the Kingscourt's attack.
Yeah.
That when they got a chance, they took it. But they were feeding off scraps more than Gales. Seemed to have a lot more possession, a lot more time in the ball, did a lot more shots on target, a lot of wides in the second half. So, like, the Gales probably...
one more shot on target.
They had...
16, 15.
Sorry, there's one more shot on target. Sorry, indeed, yeah. But it's it was just such an entertaining game, and I can't stress that enough. That I do think that the improvement in the club football this year has been far bigger than I could have hoped.
Yeah, the championship this year really has been a great senior championship. For the last few years, the senior championship probably has been a duller affair than the intermediate or junior.
Yeah.
This year, the junior final and intermediate final, they were won well by both teams, so they kind of took away from the game itself. But the senior final, it's the best game that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah,
absolutely,
without a doubt, and a lot of people on social media coming out with the same opinion that, you know, it really was a quality game of football. So, you know, we obviously congratulate Cavan Gales on a fine victory.
And we have to go back and talk about Eamon Riley, the captain.
Yeah.
We have to.
Phenomenal achievement. Like, I've seen some of the pictures up on Twitter. The lads holding the number 9 jersey and holding the Oliver Plunkett Cup. Like, to win 9 senior championships, it's just a unbelievable achievement. It's
like Henry Shefflin and the boys.
Yeah, it is. It's up like that with Kilkenny. But I'm trying to. I'd love if somebody maybe of more knowledge than me and Mickey put together would tell. But I wonder, has a player done that before in Cavan? Has any player won 9 senior championships?
That's a good one, yeah.
Within Cavan. Now, I know that there was the 7 in a row back in the 70s for Crushala, but I don't know if any player, if they won either side of that or you know, I'd love to find out if anybody has achieved that feat before, because like Dominic Riley, I think he has 9 medals as well, but he didn't play in the final in 2000. Carl Crotty has 9 medals, but
he didn't play this one.
And he missed a couple. He missed one, I think, in 2005 or 2006. I was looking this up. So they were the 3 players that were on the panel.
There was 2 more. There was 5 of them, I think.
That were on the panel.
Yeah, I think there was 5 on the panel. What's his name?
No, you're thinking of the selector.
Yes.
No, well, he's a selector, but he wasn't on the panel. as in Cormac Nelligan.
Cormac Nelligan, yes.
So as a player though, I think the three lads have 9 medals now, but Chesty played in every single one.
Yeah.
That's not to take away from the wonderful achievement that Dominic and Carl Corradi are after doing. They've 9 medals. They've probably played in 7 finals or 8 finals.
Well, Eamon Riley's first final was in 2000, and they lost that one to Gowna. He came on as a substitute in that. He won the following year. But from 2000 until 2014, there's been 15 finals. And Cavan Gales played in 14 of them out of the 15. And he played in every single one of the 14, so he did. Absolutely
amazing feat. And you know, he's listen, what can you say? He's Mr. Cavan Gales. You could even see in the programme Declan Meehan discussing him and saying, you know, the respect he obviously has for him.
An absolute inspiration to any footballer, you know, and they can say what they want about any footballer from any club. People can talk, but you cannot ever question the commitment that he's given to Cavan Gales. You know, what age is he now? He's 32. He's 32. 32. You know, so he was 18 when he played in his first, 17 when he played in his first championship final.
Amazing, absolutely amazing, and maybe we're giving him too much attention that everybody else on the Cavan Gales team
we'll come back to the rest of them. We'll come back to the rest of them. But that's a phenomenal feat to have, you know, to play in 14, play in every one of the 14 championship finals and win 9 of them. You know,
I'll tell you where I don't think it's ever been done. As in, I wouldn't think there's a player has ever played in 14 finals. I wouldn't think that's ever happened before.
Not in Cavan.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No, you could always go to Crossmaglen and.
Oh no, but I mean in Cavan. I would say he holds that on his own. That now again, I'm open to correction, but looking through the Roll of Honour, I don't think that there was a 14-year period, and even back, if you go way back to when Cornafane were dominating it and that sort of era. I don't think players would have played football for 14 years.
Right.
You know, now maybe I'm wrong. Again, somebody might point that out to me, but you know, absolutely phenomenal achievement and what I actually would love to see, and people can say what they like about it. I'd love to see that Cavan Gales go on and win Ulster title this year.
Oh, absolutely.
And it'd be a fitting tribute to those 3 lads that, you know, they've given such service. They have deserved an Ulster title. They've been good enough. They've played on teams that were good enough to win an Ulster title. I hope that this Cavan Gales team does go on and do it, because it'd be good for Cavan football.
It would. It'd be absolutely fantastic. And going by the performance on Sunday, yesterday, you know, I wouldn't have been afraid of either of those teams going on in Ulster yesterday.
No,
because I thought that the style
representatives.
Absolutely, and the style of football that they played, you know, they can play the defensive system that most teams are playing now, but they were so quick to get the ball forward. It was kick pass, especially Kingscourt. I thought a few of the times Kingscourt turned defence into attack.
So quick.
Just like that.
Yeah.
So they did, and it was maybe 3 kicks of the ball and it was in the full forward line and then put over the bar. You know, it was brilliant to commentate on as well.
It was very easy.
Yeah.
It was very easy to commentate on. There's games when it's like pulling teeth, but it was full of action, full of incident, and it was absolutely brilliant. I suppose to move on to Kingscourt just very briefly, you know, Anthony Corcoran to me is the story of the championship. 34 years of age, hasn't really played a huge role in any of the senior championships over the last number of years, and comes in and produces a year like he's after doing.
Yeah.
Was Kingscourt's second top scorer. He was joint top scorer going into the game, but Barry Riley's performance from
which
frees,
we haven't even come to.
Yeah, but Anthony Corcoran, you know, it just goes to show 34 years of age. And he's now at the best he's ever been, or the best that I've ever seen him play anyway. And I think that's a huge achievement, testament to the man. So well done to Anthony. But we'll go on to Barry Riley and his free taking.
Well, not even like his all-round play yesterday. I thought was brilliant. Some of his passing was excellent and whatever. And he came out looking for ball. But to get on to his free taking from the hand, from the ground, from
45,
from outside 45 metres, either side of the goals, with his left foot, just at his ease, clipping them over the bar at both ends of the pitch in first half and second half.
Beautiful technique.
He didn't miss one shot that he took yesterday.
Yeah. Not
9 shots,
not a white
9
to his
points.
name. Absolutely brilliant. And I not to take away from anything, but for me he was man of the match.
He was the man of the match.
In my opinion now. That's again just my
Well,
opinion. And I'm not taking away from Shawnee Johnson. I do think Shawnee had a good game.
He
I thought
did.
he had a very
He
good
did.
game. But I felt that Barry Riley was just I
outstanding.
thought he was the best player on the field.
He was worth the entrance fee alone.
Yeah.
To go in, if we'll say there was no team on the pitch and they just said, right, here's 9 frees. Here's 9 frees.
Yeah.
You just go and take them, stick them over the bar. I would have paid €15 in to watch it because it was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Like, and I look at winning team nearly always gets man of the match, and 6 points from Shawnee Johnson was a very, very good achievement.
Yeah.
He started off a bit ropey. He missed a few, and you kind of thought, geez, this mightn't be his day. It mightn't go for him. But he kept plugging away, kept taking the shots, kept on having a go, and it came right from in the end. You know, he got 2.
He had a period in each half where he had a couple of misses, you know, and again, not to take away from his performance, because that meant he was on the ball a lot and he had 6 points to his name. But for Barry Riley to have 9 shots, 9 points, I just thought that, you know, it was nearly the perfect performance by him.
Yeah.
Other than not winning the game.
That's it. What it reminisce for me was actually 1995 All-Ireland football final, Tyrone against Dublin. Peter Canavan scoring 10 points, I think, off Tyrone's 11. You know, it was something like that for me. And Peter Canavan, I think that day now, and I'm open to correction again, got man of the match in an All-Ireland final where they were beaten. So it's... There
was one free kick, in fact, that stuck out for me, and it was towards the end. I think it was his last point. I think it was to draw the teams level at 15 points apiece. It was outside the 45. Maybe it wasn't the one that drew them level at that stage. Maybe it was 5 minutes before that. But it was outside the 45-yard line, maybe 20 yards in from the sideline. And a couple of the selectors, Peter Canavan and one of the selectors, I think it could have been Donnelly as well, actually had a word.
I think it was actually Sean Riley.
It was Sean Riley. Sean Riley.
Canavans.
The 2 Canavans had a word with Barry.
Well,
they
presumed they did.
Well, they gave him some encouragement.
We presumed they did.
We'll say they gave him some encouragement.
We just, all we seen was, in fairness, after he sailed over the free, Barry let them know that it was easy from the sail over the free.
It was.
And he had words back for the 2
But
boys.
my point being is that it was a senior championship final. You're literally in the dying moments of the game. This is to draw level. You've got management and players from the other team coming out to you and giving you a few words of encouragement in your ear. And to have the composure to stick it down, and with weary legs at that stage of the game, there was maybe 5 minutes to go, and to just slot it over the bar. I just thought, again, he astounded me with his free taking yesterday.
It was absolutely brilliant. I thought it was excellent. I thought there was some wonderful tactics by both sides. I thought Cavan Gales in the first half, where they were pulling everybody in for the kickouts, and Cassidy would hit the space out wide, and they were winning them. And then for Kings Court to realise after a few kickouts, this is what's happening. We'll not just all pull in, and then
we'll hold our positions.
It was just brilliant. There were so many battles across the field.
Yeah.
I have to give credit to both managers. I thought Niall Lynch was brilliant. I thought Peter Canavan was brilliant. I can't stop thinking about how good that game was.
Yeah,
overall.
It had everything, even down to the tactics,
and
to both teams trying to figure out each other's tactics and whatever,
and counteract each other.
Yeah.
And just, I thought it was brilliant. Like, Niall Murray had to go and mark Barry Riley, and like he was with him the whole time. He never gave him an inch, but yet Barry was still getting on his ball, and you know.
And Niall had a good game himself. In fairness, Niall Murray, within 20 seconds of the ball being thrown in, had a goal chance.
Yeah.
And James Farley, he was bearing down in goal, took the shot, and James Farley was diving backwards, and it hit off his arm and went up over the bar.
That was Stephen.
Was that Stephen?
That was the brother, Stephen.
Oh, was that Stephen? But Niall was involved. I think Niall gave him the ball and
something.
Whatever,
it might have been. But it was there was just battles all over the field that were absolutely excellent. So it's all we can say is, hopefully next week we'll have some footage from it. We couldn't get the video in time for this game, of the game for the show, but next week we'll get some highlights, and we'll show as much as we can on next week's show. But I think what we'll do now is we'll go to a quick break, and hopefully when we come back, fingers crossed, we'll be joined by the Cavan senior manager, Terry Hyland.
Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start?
Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man for the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him, and without Grode McCarron and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed 6. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergal Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card. He got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But like, how is Terry Hyland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quidhill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, but sure, look, I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.
So this is Terry Highland, and this is Highland Hardware. We're just outside Cavan in Ballyhaise. Open early till late, 6 days a week. And as you can guess from the name, we do lots and 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 lots of hardware. All at guaranteed low prices. So if you're looking for any type of hardware, 6 days a week, early or late, at guaranteed low prices, come to Highland Hardware in Ballyhaise. It's that simple. And remember, cones are for ice cream and Highland Hardware is for value.
Welcome back to part 2 of Gaelic Football Views, and unfortunately that management meeting must have ran on a wee bit longer than expected, but we haven't got Terry Hyland. He hasn't just made it in. So we'll mosey on and we'll talk a little bit more about football, because we've news that we just found out this evening.
Breaking news.
It's breaking news.
Bum, bum, bum.
That's great sound effects.
Yeah,
great sound effects.
Dave wasn't there to do the sound effects.
Indeed. But with the departure, obviously, of Peter Donnelly, there was a couple of voids left in the Cavan management setups, but one of them was obviously as an under-21 coach. And the under-21 coaching role has been filled, and it's been filled indeed within the county. Brilliantly. And by a man that we've sang his praises a number of times, and I personally think he's the best coach in the county, and that's Mr. Finbar Riley from Lacken.
Finbar Hormone Riley.
Right, you can say that.
That's his nickname.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's what he's down on my phone as well, Hormone. But no, Finbar, absolutely brilliant.
I'm sure he'd be delighted with you saying that on Cavan TV.
Just for anybody who didn't know Finbar's nickname, you have it now.
They'll never forget it now.
Exactly. So, but what can we say about Finbar? Absolutely brilliant. You know, he's a true footballer and a true Cavan football man at heart. You know, and what he's done over the last 7-8 years with his career as coach has been phenomenal, you know, and he's brought a lot of success to a lot of teams.
And even still flying at football, I'm just looking, I know he's on the top 5 scorers in the senior championship this year. He racked up 4 goals and 13 points in 4 games. That's a phenomenal score, and it's over 6 points a game. So, you know, he's not only a brilliant coach, he's still in great form as footballer. I don't know where he's going to get the time to do it all, because he's obviously coaching the St. Pat's McRory team as well. But they will be in brilliant shape, and I look forward to that under-21 setup. I know that they're starting this coming weekend. I think there's trials on Saturday.
Jeez, I never got the call.
Yeah, funny enough. Even if they doubled that, you'd still be over edge.
You're our manager. Do you not have to put players forward for that?
I do, exactly.
Right.
You definitely won't get a call. So look, congratulations to Finbar, and we wish Peter and all his management team the very best of luck for the coming season. We do indeed. It'll be another tough campaign, but one where I'm sure that the lads will be very well prepared. That brings us on now to other appointments, I suppose, that were made.
Yeah, the senior management team has had a few additions to it after the loss of Peter Donnelly and Joe McCarthy. So the new Cavan selector will be Kevin Downs.
Hi, Kevin from the Killashandra club originally, and then with Cavan Gales when they moved to Cavan Town, and obviously then was involved with London.
That's right.
The London senior team. He was coaching them last year, 2013. Well, he coached them in 2012 as well, but 2013 when they got to the last 16.
That's right, against Cavan.
Wonderful achievement, and Kevin, I presume, is back in Ireland. I presume he's not doing that role from London.
Maybe he's scouting from London for players to come back to play for Cavan.
Maybe so.
Larkin, Mulvey and the likes.
That's exactly it. Well, there's a lot of Cavan people, or there was a lot of Cavan people over in London at the weekend. Maybe they were scouting to play for London, so there was a few fine footballers over. But they were doing a guided tour. Larkin Mulvey was leading people on the guided tour around London at the weekend. So,
all right, what people were they then?
We hope the Gaelic contingency for Mark McKeever's stag party had a good time.
Very good.
I'd say they found all sorts of lovely coffee houses and stuff like that.
They would. Like Larkin would be partial to his coffee.
That's it, and good steak eating spots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So the new strength and conditioning coach for the Cavan senior team is one Mr. Owen Maguire. Owen is from Dublin, I believe, but I was told today that he's nephew of Declan Maguire, who managed Mullahorn and Swanland Bar and a number of different clubs in Cavan. Obviously, father to the twins, the Golfing twins
in Templeport
down in West Cavan.
Excellent.
So we actually don't know much about Owen, but
but we will find out as much as we can as possible from Terry Hyland when we do get to do the interview with him. It doesn't look like he's going to make it tonight. And then obviously there was one more appointment made, and it was the players' performance coach, and this is to be filled by none other than the big man himself, Liam McHale of Mayo.
Yeah, all the way from the west,
yes.
which was a massive appointment.
Brilliant. I think it's class.
I think it's huge, and considering he was going for the Mayo job with Kevin McStay, and then he obviously things didn't work out well, and there was a bit of a mess over there. But Mayo's loss is our game.
Absolutely.
And he's going to bring a huge amount of experience and a huge amount of professionalism. What I'm curious is, what is a player's performance coach?
Players' performance coach.
That's the way it was worded.
Who'll be coaching their performance.
So it's basically the football coach.
Basically,
I presume.
Yeah, that's what I'd take from that now myself. It'd be he'd be working on maybe skills and tactics, and I'm guessing as well that it'll be on forward play. It'll be on attack minded play. That's what I would take from that, and especially with Liam McHale and his experience of Mayo football, which is very similar to the style of Kerry football and Meath football. I think it would be in that regards. I think it's a great new dimension. It's something different being brought in, and a different perspective on how to play the game, I think.
Yeah, exactly, because probably people would have been looking at it and expecting Cavan to go north for a coach, stay within Ulster ideas and Ulster setups, but Liam McHale will bring something different. He's over St. Bridget's in Roscommon. They've got to the championship final, I think, in Roscommon as well. So, he's going to bring a huge amount of experience, and it's a phenomenal appointment. So.
Well, the thing about it is, right, if you look at the last 2 years with Cavan, we've made great strides. We've absolutely made great strides. If you look at Donegal 2011, 2012, they perfected a defensive style of play in 2011.
That's right.
And then in 2012, they got to All Ireland. They evolved it into an attacking-minded defence first, but then a massive emphasis on attacking when they got the ball.
Yeah.
Now, everybody is saying, well, Cavan did that 2 years ago, and then this year they went defensive again. And they're saying, well, why didn't we try to evolve it the way Donegal did? We have to remember where we were at that stage. We weren't playing Division 1 football like Donegal. We were playing Division 3. We were playing Division 3 football. So we have done 2 years of defensive football.
Yeah.
And we have perfected it, really. Like, in fairness, we have.
Very well.
So now maybe this is going to be the next step on the ladder.
Yeah.
And bringing in someone like Liam McHale, I think, is going to be absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it should be. We also, obviously, most people will know, but anybody who doesn't know, Cavan drew Monaghan in the first round or the quarter-final
How'd you
of
buy yourself?
the Ulster Championship for 2015. It's a home game in Kingspan Breffni Park, and then the winners of that play the winners of Antrim and Fermanagh in the semi-final. So it's right, Monaghan is a huge task.
It is, but by God, is that not I think
mouth-watering.
it is a mouth-watering tie, so it is. When was the last time Cavan played Monaghan in the championship?
2012.
2012?
Yeah, semi-final.
Oh, yes, bet us by a pint.
Yeah.
That's right. Jesus God, I nearly forgot about that. So
Yeah. But it shows at our best, which was in 2012. Sorry, 2013, I mean.
Yes.
2013. We could have beaten them. We probably should have beaten them.
Should have beaten them. We kept them scoreless for 25 minutes in the first half. And they went on to win
the Ulster title that year.
Yeah.
So, you know, there'll be no fear. If there was ever a championship draw that was to motivate players to put in an effort, that's the one.
And not only that, and I'm not degrading Antrim or Fermanagh at all.
That's my point.
But the whole point is that, you know, to be meeting Monaghan in the first round and to know that you're going to meet Fermanagh or Antrim in a semi-final to get into a final.
You have a great opportunity of making an Ulster final in 2015, and you know it's going to be absolutely huge.
It's actually interesting as well. I was looking at Twitter after the draw was made the other night, and a lot of Dublin and Tyrone people were all giving out about the draws, and it was just interesting to watch it on Twitter. It was because Tyrone, they were basically calling each other whingers, and they were giving out about Kerry having such an easy draw every year to get to an All-Ireland semi-final or a quarter-final or whatever. And just to watch the banter between Facebook and Twitter the other night. But like Tyrone, Down, Derry, Armagh and Donegal, all on the one side. Yeah. You know,
it's the stuff of dreams, like, so it is. Well, it is for a Cavan man anyway, but it's and for a Monaghan man too.
Absolutely,
like, they
will be up for this as well.
Them out for that, so like it's absolutely brilliant. So look, there's not really much else for us to do other than say next week's show. Actually, what date is next week's show?
Oh God, next week's show is a week from today.
Oh, well, that's a good one now.
Yeah.
So next week's show, I'm nearly sure we're in the Cavan Crystal Hotel actually, and it's for the après-match style show, and we'll be bringing in all of the minor championship winning teams from the ladies setup.
That'll be Monday the 20th.
Monday the 20th. I'm pretty sure that's when we're going with that. So, but anyway, stay tuned to our Twitter and our Facebook.
Will we be going
feeds.
Live with that from the Hotel Kilmore?
We'll be doing our best.
Or from the
Cavan Crystal Hotel. We'll be doing our very best to go live. So we'll. But look if we can't, we'll get it up that night. It'll not be long being put together.
So again, just to say, we're very sorry that our special guest Terry Hyland wasn't able to make it by the looks of things. If he does arrive now between now and the credits, we will stay on, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. But we will definitely get him on. He's said that he would love to do the show again, and he was supposed to be here tonight. It's just obviously, do you know what? I still think they're in that meeting. I still do.
Well, maybe so. It's the first chance that
they've got to sit down,
as in the whole team together. So. Maybe that's exactly, and they've a lot of planning to do, obviously. So, look, anyway, that brings us to the end of this week's show, and our thanks to the backroom team there of. Tonight it's Mr. Brian Daly, the welcome return.
It is, and Mr. Cox, Paul Cox.
Mr. Cox, indeed. And of course, the special guest for the show there that Paul has sitting on his knee.
Oh, yes, he does. Yeah.
Ulick McGee.
Yeah.
So remember, though, if you want to get in contact with the show, we'd be delighted to hear your views. You can email us at GaelicFootballViews@gmail.com. You can follow us on Facebook by searching Gaelic Football Views, or you can find us on Twitter by searching @GaelicFV.
So until next week, I'm not even going to let you say it. It's good night, and God bless him. God's sakes.
Morning, Mickey.
What did you make of that game yesterday?
Oh, where do I start? Only for Ronan Flanagan. I can't believe Martin Riley missed that goal chance, you know. Him with a soccer background, I'd have expected him to keep it low on the carpet, but they blazed it over the bar. Very lucky to be able to bring on Michael Argue. Big man for the middle of the field, and him still under 21. You imagine, we got to an All-Ireland quarter-final last year, and that was without him and without Grode McKieran and these lads. Imagine what we can do this year with them all. The night that we got the first-round victory, it was absolutely amazing. When you think about it, we haven't won a first-round game in years. 6 points from play. You can't ask for much of a better return than that. But then the missed 6. Gilson in goals was playing brilliantly. Joshua Hayes, you couldn't replace him. Rory Dunn, outstanding. Killian the Gunner, absolutely brilliant. Fergal Flanagan was probably lucky to not get a black card, he got a yellow one instead. Jeez, I tell you what, Pete McGrath was raging after it, so he was. You know, after last year reaching the All-Ireland quarter-final, sure, everyone's Samsung Galaxy tablet from 149. That's pretty damn good. But like, how's Terry Hyland going to be able to keep their heads on the ground and not let them get blown up?
Hayes Expert, Cavan and Quidhill, proud sponsors of Gaelic Football Views.
Look, at the end of the day, we got the 2 points, and isn't that all that really matters?
Yeah, but sure, look, I'll see you at the match later on.
I don't think I'll bother.